Why did the banker decide to quit banking and change careers? He lost interest. One of the things that people sometimes lose interest in are their investments when they don't go so well. I recently had a conversation with a client who, when I originally met him, seemed like a big real estate mogul. He was talking a big talk, let me say. He had all this money and was invested in different programs, and he was talking about how he's got this investment, and this one spins off a lot of income, and how these are the greatest real estate investments out there. And then, all of a sudden, things didn't look so good. So I'd like to tell you what happened. And one of the things that I think that all Goldstein on Gelt listeners absolutely need to learn, and at the end, I'm going to tell you what the conversation I had with this client did to help the next person that I spoke to. The first thing that happened is when I started working with this guy, he was a pretty well-off guy. He had a number of real estate deals going on, and he had a pretty substantial brokerage and IRA portfolio, which is the part that I handled. But, and I asked him, one of the things I always ask people is, do you think you're going to need to pull income from your portfolio? And he said, no, my real estate deals spin off so much income. They're all properly leveraged, and the banks and the manager. Oh, I was talking all this big talk, and frankly, I was pretty impressed that he knew what he was talking about. But turns out he didn't actually know what he was talking about. He presented himself as sophisticated. He was a smart guy, and he had heard what other people said, and he was using those terms, but I don't think he really understood. And then what happened when I spoke to him just now is he said, Doug, it turned out that the cash flow from these properties is about 10% of what it had been. It's 10% of what I expected, and therefore I now need to pull money from my brokerage account. That was a real issue. I said, well, what happened? He goes, well, because of this and that and Corona and the war and the politics and people not paying the rent, whatever the issues were. Frankly, the purpose of today's show is not to tell you what went on in his specific real estate deal, but just the fact is nothing is perfect. There are always problems. You don't make a lot of money with no risk, and he sort of thought he was going to do that. And instead, he had more risk than he really understood, and when he got hit by it, I'll tell you one of the things he got hit by. He got hit by what's called a cash call. Not only was he invested in real estate, and perhaps overly invested in real estate, but he had a cash flow crisis because a lot of times when people do these sort of investments, they pledge money to a deal that doesn't quite exist yet, and then when the deal exists, then they have to put up the money. So not only was he down about 90% on the income from his current real estate investments, but he had a cash call, which meant that he had to come up with more money to put into new investments, which he didn't have. So he had to actually take money out of what he viewed as long-term investment money. The money that I handle for people normally is long-term. Normally I'm talking with people who are in their 40s or 50s or 60s or 70s or 80s, they're retired, and they may take a little money out from time to time, but basically this is a long-term portfolio. Stocks and bonds and bank deposits and funds, that's the kind of thing that I do. He didn't expect to urgently have to pull money out of this account because he wasn't planning the right way. He thought the real estate was guaranteed to pay this interest and this rent he was going to collect all the time. Just didn't turn out that way. So as a result of realizing this mistake he had made, he had to do a real reevaluation of what's going on. So one of the things that bugs me a lot, and I've spoken about this publicly, is the way people view real estate. Now, I own some real estate, and I'm not against real estate, but a different guy told me the other day, he goes, no, you only buy real estate. You never sell real estate. I was thinking, what sort of attitude is that? There's no perfect investment that you only ever own forever, even in Israel, right? Some people say, well, Doug, listen, we're all in Israel. No one would want to sell a property in Israel. It always goes up in value. You know what is true about real estate in Israel? Is that it sometimes does go down in value. It doesn't always go up in value. And the fact that more people are coming to Israel, great. And I'm positive overall on Israel, but at the end of the day, you can't put all your money in that. It's just not always true that you should only buy and never sell real estate. The value increase is not guaranteed. And there's no such thing as investment magic. If you believe that, like this client I'm telling you about today, he just thought, oh yeah, it always works out. It doesn't always work out. You have to diversify. That's the lesson here. So in this case, we really have to do a lot of soul searching and reevaluate what's going on and realize he can't just be in real estate, especially not these kind of illiquid deals where he might get a cash call and be required to put up more money. It's just not possible. And the fact that in the past he did okay, and in a minute I'm going to tell you about another story, It doesn't mean that he's going to do well in the future. You've just got to be more careful. So here's my next story. A few hours after speaking to this guy, I get a call from another client who's younger. My first client is probably in his 70s or so. This client is in his 40s. And he said, Doug, a while ago, I put $50,000 into a real estate deal in Wisconsin. There was a guy who runs it, and he put me into part of his deal in a strip mall, and it's doing very well. He says, now I want to take out the rest of my account because this guy is doing another real estate deal, and I think I'll put the money there. So it's funny. So I told him about what happened. I said, it's funny. You're calling me now today because I have this story fresh in my mind about this guy who's literally getting his finances blown up because of bad decisions in real estate. And I went through all the details that I just told you about the cash calls and the income getting cut by 90%. And all of a sudden he goes, wow, maybe the fact that I have $50,000 in real estate, maybe I'm not going to take out the rest of my portfolio and put that in real estate as well. So I think that's an important lesson for everyone to learn. I'm not giving a recommendation for or against investing in real estate. Each person has to decide with the help of your financial advisor and perhaps your lawyer and perhaps your accountant what's the most appropriate thing for you to do. But at the end of the day, don't believe that there's something magic. Even real estate can go south on people. And I don't want you to be in a situation where you're like this first guy, where when you speak to me, you go, oh, Doug, things just didn't work out. When you have a diversified portfolio, which includes perhaps some money in real estate, but some money in normal investments in brokerage and IRA accounts, that's, I think, the way to at least sleep at night, to be most secure, and to have a predictable future. You want to have a lower stress portfolio. Why? Because then you can enjoy the rest of your life. I hope you've enjoyed the Goldstein on Gelt show today. I certainly have. I've enjoyed speaking with you. I want to thank my team, Joseph Goldstein, my producer, Steve Stewart, my chief engineer, and of course, thank you for joining me. I'm Doug Goldstein here on the Goldstein on Gelt show, the financial show for people living in Israel. Take care.